Hey guys, this is Production Music Live, and today we will have a look at this template here. We will talk about some production techniques and mixing and mastering techniques as well. So you will find the link in the description for those presets here, for the template and as well for the drums. So let's start right away with this drum section here. I'm going to solo it for you. And as you can see, we are layering this clap and the off hi-hat here as well. And let's start with the clap. We have this nice percussion here. Let me quickly turn off those effects. First, we are emphasizing here on those two frequencies to get more of the tone of this percussion, and we are cutting away all those higher frequencies. We will talk about the reason in a second. Let's move on. We have another EQ here, and we are again boosting a little bit around this 1K area, and then we are adding some nice reverb to it. So here we have a decay time of 1.2 milliseconds, and then those early reflection and the tail of the reverb is reduced here. So play around with those two knobs here, they are really important. Everything else here is like it is on default. And then of course we are shortening the sample, and we will do this quite often. Okay, and then we are adding this little tiny clap here. And what we are doing here, again, we are cutting away some of the higher frequencies. And let's play them both together. So and then later on we are adding this other clap here. Let's listen to it solo. And as you can hear, this layer here has a lot of higher frequencies, and this is also the reason why we are cutting away those higher frequencies on those other layers. We are trying to avoid to stack up certain frequencies. This is a really important thing in mixing called frequency masking, and it's basically, for example, if you don't cut away those higher frequency here and there, we don't need them. So if we don't cut them away, they will be too prominent. And then the problem is, maybe we're going to another track here, for example, the shakers. And to make the shaker audible, we will start to boost here the higher frequencies. And the end result is that we are just stacking up certain frequencies. So a good EQ habit is look for frequencies you can cut. Always ask you this question, which frequencies aren't necessary for this sound in this song. All three together. So let's go to the heads, and as you can see, we have here 3 layers, and we will start with this one. We are making this mono. We are shortening the sample here, and we are giving it some release, and this is really important to the sound. Let's listen. Then we have some basic reverb here, just a small room. And we are cutting away again here those high frequencies, and let's move on to the second layer. So, and as you can see here, we want to have this high end, and we are boosting it. So again, here we are cutting and here we are boosting. And let's have a quick look at the last layer. As you can see, we are cutting again here. Basic reverb, nothing special, and a little bit of attack and decay. So those are the MIDIs for those two heads here, and those are the notes for the second head, and together we have this nice groove. Want to quick talk about why it's so important to shorten your sample if necessary. Here in Western music we are focusing so much at which exact point in time the sample is hitting, and not so much how long it's been played, and we are not focusing so much on those silent gaps in between. In other cultures, they are, like in Africa, they're focusing much more on the gaps in between. And so to get a good groove, it's important to listen to those gaps. It's pretty easy here with the simpler, and if you are using another DAW, you always find the attack, decay, sustain and release times here, those envelopes. For the volume you have filter envelopes as well and pitch envelopes. The release time is not that important, but just start to shorten the sustain a bit and then decrease the amount of decay. And so it's about those two knobs here to find the right length for your sound. Okay, so then let's move on. We are coming to this percussion plug here. It's a patch from our new preset pack for Massive called Boiler Productions, and it does a lot to the groove. It's just playing 16th notes. Let's move on. We have this percussion rack here, loaded 3 percussions from our deep premium sample pack here, and just some little EQing, and we are reducing a little bit of the resonant peaks here. We're adding some reverb, nothing special, it's just a long reverb, really wet, and then we have some simple delay. So nothing fancy, let's play them. So this one is focusing on the lower frequencies, this one for the mids, and then really important, this higher sample here. Okay, then finally we have this little crackle here, just an audio I've recorded. Yeah, not that important, but it's always nice to have something like this in the background. And another thing I want to talk about is it's so important to use those track delays here. This is such a nice feature here in Ableton. And it's really important for the tone and for the groove of the drums. So always try to find the sweet spot here for your drums. Okay, we move on to the shakers. So nothing on the tracks here, as you can see. But here on our main group, we have a low cut, of course, and we're adding some reverb. a little bit of sidechain compression, and then here's the nice thing. I really love this frequency shifter here for drums. You can also use it as a Zen effect. Just pitch up or down this frequencies, the frequency here. You can take the fine tune or this one, and then you just apply it a little bit and listen how this changes the sound. So I really like this, and then you can see we are panning this hard left and right, and then we are delaying one track here by -3 milliseconds, and this is important to get this stereo effect. And if you want to learn more about why something sounds stereo to us, I recommend you to check out the link in the description. There you will also learn how to make something sound good in mono and stereo. So because we are making some kind of club music here, and the most clubs have mono systems. Okay, let's move on. We have this deep percussion here. And as you can see, we are delaying those two notes here to give it a little bit of groove. And this is a preset here. And then we are just using a snare drum. And this is the left channel. And then we have this exact same snare drum here on the right channel, but it's a bit different here with those settings of the overdrive effect. And here we are applying some phaser, and here we don't. So something sounds stereo if the left channel is playing something slightly different to the right channel. And this can be in volume, in time, or in frequency. So both together. Then we're adding this percussion here. And as you can see, we are using a lot of this track delay here. And on the groove we have again some overdrive effect and a little bit of glue compression, some EQing, some compression, then a phaser with an automation for this break part here. Let's talk quick about this glue compressor. This is a really nice compressor, and especially for drums. I recommend you to use it on every group. We have it as well here on our shakers group and then on our drums group as well. This is like, of course, gluing the sounds together. And another good effect of using this glue compressor is that it will fix some mixing mistakes. So let's solo all those jumps here. And then we have our kick drum, and here we are just reducing a little bit of the sustain and cutting away the sine wave tail of the sample. And then we have some low cut and a little bit of compression. Nothing fancy here. This kick is kick number 7 of our deep premium sample pack. Let's listen in. We have some effects here. It's also a massive preset done with this paper noise and kicker wavetable. Let's quickly listen in. Some EQing, some compression, a little bit of side chaining, nothing fancy going on here. Then we have just a little splash. Some nice white noise. Then we have another splash here. So we have 3 different automation here. This bandpass filter is going up. At the same time, this one is going down to avoid that it's getting too harsh. And then we have this utility on, and it's basically just a lead sound. And you can do this with every sound, and it's playing this chord here. Nothing special, but a nice effect. So then we have this noise. Basic white noise, and here again. And then we have this snare tail. Let's take this one. This is also part of the premium sample pack, and we have a long decay time here. But the nice thing here is that, as you can see, we're using a 3-to-3 delay, but we are putting this right channel here out of sync. And this has a really cool effect. Let's compare it. As you can see, if you're setting one channel out of sync, it's starting to sound stereo. Otherwise, it's just sounding mono if you're using the same delay times for both channels. So if you do so, try to pitch down one channel and you're getting a nice effect here. Well, then we have some basic pad here, playing throughout the whole track. Then some vocal. Nothing special here. And then we are coming to our plug section. Let's go quickly through those layers. And now we're coming to the nice thing here. The last layer here is just a percussion. So let's have a listen. This little percussion is changing so much. Okay, let's move on. We have this step here, and again, we are using one patch preset, and then we are stacking this up with a percussion again. Okay, then we have this bass here. This bass is really nice. So this is kind of a sub bass, but has also some mid frequencies in there. And I would recommend you using this Herbie wavetable with those settings here. And normally your sub bass, for your sub bass, you're using a sine wave, and this Herbie patch is something like a sine wave. Let's open up the SERUM synthesizer. So here we have our Herbie patch. And as you can see, this is a simple sine wave. If we are changing this wavetable position, you can see the wavetable is changing and it's adding more higher frequencies. So I'm going to play this bass here, and let's have a look at the EQ8. And then let's have a quick look at this preset here. We are pitching it down. This modulation is not on here. And another thing here is using this envelope and applying it a little bit to the cutoff, to filter cutoff of this low pass 4 filter. This is giving the sound a little attack. Let's listen in. Just reduce the decay, sustain all the way down, and a little bit of attack here. Well, and then of course we have this C tube applied a little bit, quite a bit. Let's move on. We have this nice string here, and it's playing those notes. And let's listen in. It's of course also a preset of our new preset pack. You have several options here, and I want to talk to you quickly about those automations. We have a volume automation here, we have a filter automation here, and we have this pitch automation. If you're using more than one automation on a single track, it's really nice to see them all, so you always know what the other automation is doing, and just right click and go to show automation in new lane. Then we move on. We have this break block here. Okay, let's have a quick look at this preset here. And basically what we are doing is we're using 3 saw wavetables with those settings, applying a little bit of LFO to the pitch. And then we have this envelope here shaping the low pass filter, a little bit of reverb, and then after that this scream filter here. And then we have Unison 1. And really important here, we are activating this restart via gate button here under the oscillator tab. And let's quickly listen to the effect. So if you are doing plugs like this, always check back. It might sound much more powerful with this restart activated. You can also then change the phase start of the oscillators. Then we have those ARPs playing. Just 2 presets here, a little bit of EQing. Then we have again some glue compression. We have this reverb on with a longer tail here with this diffuse button, and some side chaining and some simple delay, and we getting this result here. And as you can see, we are playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which already makes a cool groove, and then we are playing 1, 2, 3, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we are coming to this lead sound here, and I've already made a tutorial about this first layer here. Check out the link in the description to this tutorial here as well. Again, as you can see, we have some automations going on. So again, right click, show automation in new lane, and you know what's happening. The second layer on the group, we have a lot of compression here going on, and this is because, as you can see, we have this filter automation on. And without. And as you can hear, the dynamic range of those lead sounds is too big without those compressors on. And so it's impossible to mix it right. And finally, we have this drop saw here. Really cool sound. Well, let's have a look here. This is the envelope controlling low pass 2 filter. And then we have this tube on and this dimension expander. We are playing 4 voices. We are activating this pitch cutoff just a slightly bit, like this. We are controlling it with the macro. And then we are activating this pan position here. We're adding here this white noise. This is really important. So, and then listen, you can also again activate this restart via gate. You're getting some really nice phasing effects here, and this is because we are using 4 unisono voices. So we're playing 3 oscillators and 4 voices for each oscillator. Finally, we have another ARP here playing. Nothing fancy, and then another ARP here. And another one. So let's listen into this drop. So let's have a quick look at this crane, at the scent effects. I recommend you to use this crane delay here. You can have some nice effects here. And then we have this ping pong delay used as a scent effect for the drums. We use it as a scent effect because we are applying a side chain, and we want to just side chain the ping pong delay and not the whole sound. And then finally, let's go to the master. We are just making it a little bit louder here, and then we are running into this multiband dynamics here. So here on the above section, this is the ratio of the compressor, and normally you're having a ratio higher than 1, so 1 to 2 for example, but in this case we are using a ratio of 0.5, and this excites the sound and makes it louder. So this is a totally different way of using a compressor. And you're using this amount button or this dry wet button here. As you can see, we have another parallel mode here running, and what you get is a part of the signal is really hard compressed and with lower dynamic range, and the other signal here is getting through uncompressed, so you get a mix of both worlds. Here we are running just a limiter with a longer release time, just to even out again the peaks a bit. Then we have this EQ here. We have a low cut here at 47 Hz. A little dip here. The bass is too prominent here at this frequency with those peaks here. We are again emphasizing this percussion tone of the clap with those two peaks here, and then we are giving it again quite a bit of high shelf. And yeah, we have this glue compressor here, parallel mode. Then we have another limiter here, really short release, and another one which is just making it louder with auto mode. Okay, I hope you liked this tutorial. Subscribe to our channel, visit us on productionmusiclive.com, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.